Hello, everybody. Welcome to this program. Today's guest is Mr. Tenma. Mr. Tenma, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me
Thank you
on
for
this call.
joining this show for such a short notice.
It's about 6 hours notice or something.
That's right. And you'll be today talking about TOEIC祭り that you've been hosting with your
Yeah,
friends and colleagues.
right.
So,
Toeic Matsuri is kind of my thing for the last 3-4 years.
good. So before you get
Yeah.
to that, maybe you can briefly introduce yourself and then you can take it away.
Yes, I teach English in Nishinomiya, and I'm teaching TOEIC classes and pronunciation and some what do you call it? A listening program called Chigasaki Method. This is well, that's okay. It's not much related to what we're going to talk about today. TOEIC is, of course, a test that tests your reading and listening skills. And it's kind of strange that I'm teaching TOEIC tests, preparation for TOEIC tests now, because way back I was kind of like, TOEIC, what's TOEIC? You don't get much out of it kind of person. I was working at an English conversation school, which supported another test called UNATE, Kokuren Eiken. And with that, you have to be using English, reading what's happening in the world through newspapers and magazine articles, and you have to be presenting your opinion about what's happening in the world in a written or spoken way. And so you have to be really using English as a tool of communication to score high or to pass a certain grade in that test, and as opposed to a full virtual world of the TOEIC test. Nothing is real in the TOEIC test, right?
Yeah.
So it's really funny. But as I started teaching TOEIC, I've met a lot of people who are kind of struggling with English, and of course they are kind of forced to achieve a certain score in the TOEIC test, and so they're really, really frustrated and struggling. So that's how I started this seminar called TOEIC Matsuri, to help those people to have at least some fun in studying for the TOEIC test. I think that's about it.
What kind of activities do you do in the TOEIC Matsuri events?
Well, it varies. It's, for example, I have one coming up on July 14th, and we'll be having 5 different activities. The first one is called Matching Part 6. Matching Part 6. Okay, Part 6 is kind of a short passage, a fill in the blank type of question using short passage. You have a passage, and there are 3 blanks in between, and you have to choose from among 4 different alternatives, the best one that completes the passage perfectly, correctly. And so that's the normal form of Part 6 questions. But we'll be using the text, the passage, and split it into 4 different parts. And we'll have several sets of these passages. So we have, say, for example, 9 passages divided into 4 parts each. That's 36 pieces of text, right? And we'll give each of them to one participants, and they will try to find partners that completes the passage, the original passage.
It is completely like a game.
It's a game.
Okay.
It's a game, right? And then afterwards, when you've completed the passage, the four people got together so that they have a complete, beautiful passage. Then we have part 6 questions. So you have to solve those 3 questions. So it's like a game and some kind of TOEIC preparation combined together.
Interesting.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
And another thing is Shibai Goya part 2.
Do people have to do shibai, like act
Yes,
out
yes.
on the stage and pretend like they're somebody else?
Right. It is based on part 2 questions. Part 2 question is a short question and response. So you'll hear a short question or statement, and then you have to choose one appropriate response out of 3. That's the basic style of part 2 question. But in this game, after solving those part 2 questions, you are asked to create a longer conversation using those phrases. And then, when the script is complete, then you'll practice, rehearse those the conversation. 2 people acting each character, and they will eventually go up on the stage and act it out.
This sounds also like an interesting, fun game. Is it like involving lots of laughters and?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very strange learning experience that in a TOEIC seminar you laugh too much, kind of. You know, of course, there are moments they're working really hard to solve TOEIC questions, but when it's over, it's full of laughter.
I mean, I am beginning to sense what's going on here. So the TOEIC test format itself may be a little dry and boring, but you're really bringing in lots of fun to the
Yeah, I
thing
think
on
so.
the. Oh, okay. Now I understand why you call it Matsuri.
Matsuri,
And
yeah.
I begin to sense a feeling of how maybe many of the instructors are from Kansai area.
Well, no,
No?
not at this time. Well, originally I started in Kobe, and I don't know how many, probably 10, 15 times we've done in the Kansai area. So over time, we had a lot of people from Kansai area, but this time we're having this in Tokyo,
Okay.
and the only person who's from Kansai is me.
Actually, what I was trying to push is that maybe something like a test can become fun when you bring it to Osaka. The culture of Yoshimoto Kogyo and everything else.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think you know Joy-san.
Yes. Yeah.
Joy-san is a regular member of TOEIC Matsuri,
Okay.
and there's another guy called Ted-san. We have several Teds, but this is Terakura Takeshi-san. He's in Osaka.
So
and-
I'm not very far off when I sensed, wait a minute.
Right.
There's something going on here
Right,
with
right,
a
right.
bunch of Kansai people and, trying TOEIC in such a fun environment. Yeah.
But there's this very famous guy called Kanzaki-san.
Uh-huh.
I think you know him as well. And Kanzaki-san is kind of a regular member of TOEIC Matsuri when we started it 4 years ago. He was a frequent participant, but somehow these days he's busy, and it's kind of hisashiburi for him to join. But he's also funny. He's not from Kansai, but
Yeah.
he's really funny. And I enjoy working with them.
So you're
very
saying
much.
that if people go to this event, they'll also enjoy the personality of these teachers, instructors, and
I think so. I think
every one of them has some distinct character.
so.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So who plays boke and who plays tsukomi?
I don't know. Kanzaki-san is typically a bokeh person. And the rest of the team is probably both bokeh and tsukomi,
Okay.
I think.
How do you?
There
I
are
mean,
two.
yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Okay. There are two ladies, Shibuya Natsuko-san and Ikeda Makiko-san, who are kind of my friends from a seminar called TTT. That's TOEIC Teachers Training. It's an annual seminar that's held in Tokyo, and we work together to improve our teaching skills and the TOEIC environment, TOEIC class environment. And we have lots of ideas and feedbacks and stuff like that. So we work closely together, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity to work with these two ladies again. Two. Okay. That's about it. There was nothing funny about it. But,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to throw a hardball towards the end of this program of 15 minutes. Okay, so you used to, or you still work in the paradigm of Chigasaki method, which really takes seriously the social issues and what's
Right.
going on in the world, while the TOEIC world, TOEIC environment is really virtual. And that makes sense because in the testing industry, they need to avoid controversial issues, violence, racism, all these things. So as a result, tests, context that test items deal with become very dry and neutral. So how do you bridge the two worlds in a way that is productive or good for the learning environment?
Well, basically, I think TOEIC is for the beginners. And Chigasaki method or anything more authentic is for someone who has achieved a certain level of command in English, using English. So I used to have 3 different levels in Chigasaki method, beginning class, intermediate, and then advanced. And I stopped using introductory beginner level because I thought it was easier for those people to deal with TOEIC materials, because Chigasaki thing is a little bit difficult, too difficult for those beginning level students. Even if it is called beginner, it's not actually beginner, it's kind of intermediate, because it deals with world knowledge, what's really happening in the world. It has to be something substantial and something difficult. So I stopped using that, and so I started recommending those beginning level students to take TOEIC classes so that they can work with virtual kind of material to learn the basics of grammar, vocabulary, and sound system, pronunciation and listening. And then after you have built up some command of English, then you can use more authentic material to learn about what's going on in the world. So that's, I think it's works best for me.
That sounds like a
In kind.
yeah. Thank you for your great answer to this.
Okay.
So finally, I need to ask you about your book that's
Book.
published recently, right? A couple months ago.
Oh yeah, it's about half a year, 6 months ago or something.
Okay, tell
end
us
of
just a little bit about that, the title of the book, and
Title of the book, 2ヶ月で攻略 TOEIC テスト900点.
in English it will be like overcome whatever in 2 months.
Wow. Yeah, get 200 on the TOEIC test in 2 months. I don't know if it's possible or not. It depends who you're talking about. It can be someone who's studied for the TOEIC test for a very long time, and who you need the final boost towards 900, or it can be someone who's not that into the TOEIC preparation. Well, this book is kind of strange or unique among those TOEIC preparation books, in that I asked the readers to use a part of this book over and over again. You know, it is in a 5 days, 8 week format for the total of 40 days, right?
Right.
Okay. And then every week, the first day has part 7 passage and part 3 conversation or part 4 talk. And I ask them to say, for example, read out loud, time attack. I think you're familiar with that word.
Yes.
Read as much as, no, read as fast as you can.
Right.
Go as fast as you can. And what else? Copying. Copying is a way of practicing English that I coined.
Right.
Try to impersonate or mimic or copy
Right.
you heard. So we'll use, of course, listening portion of the test, part 3 and part 4 materials. You listen to this and you try to remember how it sounded and try to repeat as exactly as possible in the same way. Try to work on the limited amount of material over and over again until you are totally familiarized with that. And, you know, it's like learning how to drive.
Yep.
You know, when you are fully confident, you're kind of awkward. You're kind of remembering what to do next. And your driving is not very smooth. But until, but after you got a certain level of confidence, your you know, for example, braking or steering will be automatic. You can just adjust to the flow of the traffic, and then you don't even think about what you're going to do. And language is similar to that. When you're speaking in your native language, you don't even think about what word to use or in what order you're going to put these words.
Yep.
It comes out naturally. So I wanted to have similar situation for those readers using this book. That's very strange for a TOEIC preparation book.
Right. We're running out of time here, but
Okay, I talked too much.
thank you for a great talk, and people can Google you out by typing Tenma sensei, Tenma,
Timma.
then
Okay.
TOEIC Matsuri and stuff.
Yeah, TOEIC Matsuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, TOEIC Matsuri is a kind of a fun experience for everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Tenma.
All right, thank you very much, Hassan.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.